Hey, welcome back to the Zombie Star. I am Wayland, and I'm going to do something very different today. We don't have pops or comic books or video games per se, but we are going to do something very related. Speaking of pops and comics and all that stuff, what we're doing is really just trying to keep ourselves busy because we're just waiting for all the stuff that we ordered from SDCC, which again, I am going to be posting some videos on, kind of revealing what it is that we were able to acquire and complain about the things that we didn't. But while we're waiting on that. If you guys are following Endgame on the Zombie Star YouTube channel, you'll notice, especially in my playthrough of Last of Us, you will hear the most notorious sound known for PS4s, which is of course the sound of the fan just going and going and going. So I did a little bit of research, watched a few videos, and I learned how to clean out my PS4. So I kind of want to make a little tutorial video on how simple it is and just some of the things that maybe you don't commonly have. But some very few items that you need to actually do this yourself. The only warning that I do want to give you guys is if there's any warranty on your systems, for instance, if you bought one within the last few months or maybe even in the last year, you might actually have some warranty on it. If you do this, you're going to void your warranty because you do need to bypass some security measures. And once you do, any warranty that you have on the system is void. So if you have a newer system, if you just bought it recently, you probably don't want to do this, and you hopefully don't have this problem yet. My PS4, for instance, any warranty that I might have had is well void, as it's a PS4 that I picked up when these things were pretty much released. So if it blows up on me, it's, I can't blame anybody but myself. Things we're gonna need. First thing and foremost is some very simple compressed air. Okay, I know sometimes this can cause moisture to actually come out along with the air. The way to avoid that is just keep the item that you're trying to get dust off of kind of away. Don't do it so directly, and of course don't hold it down for too long. You just want to do short bursts, and to avoid any of that moisture, get yourself a rag, not only to clean out dust and things like that trying to get into your system, but also to clean off any moisture that maybe you might have accidentally sprayed into your system. You get moisture in it, you're asking for bad news. This little scrapey thing, okay, or anything similar. I've seen people use straight razors. Some people can able to do it with a screwdriver. And this is what we're going to do is we're just going to take off some of those security labels to get to the security screws that are behind it. But I'll show you guys that in a minute. Phillips screwdriver, this should be pretty common. I think everyone should have at least a Phillips screwdriver laying around. Q-tips for scrubbing. Okay, to scrub it, especially when we get into that fan, because that's where most of your dust is going to be. This is actually the second time that I'm cleaning my system. It's been a while, so I've done this before, and I kind of wanted to give it another once through, because I'm just noticing that it does collect dust fairly quickly. And here's the tricky one. This is called your TR9 Torx. Okay, TR9 Torx. So I'm not even going to pretend to be a Tim the Toolman and act like I knew what this was before learning how to do this, because I didn't. I learned about it and actually had one, so I got kind of lucky with this. But you will need this. I have seen and read about people who can use a smaller Phillips to take off the security screws, but you are running the risk of wearing down the screw. And you certainly don't want to do that in case you need to do this again, like I am, to get in there and remove these screws. So the best thing to take off those security screws is to use your TR9 Torx. Okay, it's a very special screw, and it fits perfectly into the little holes actually that the screws have, rather than your regular stars that a screw would have, right? All right, so here it is. This is usually what I game on. Very old system, as I said. It's very old. I mean, it's lasted quite a bit. Gotta thank Sony for their products. They do last quite a bit, but you can't really blame for how much kind of use that I put this thing through. And of course the fact that I don't really clean it that much. So this is going to be the second time I actually do this, so it's going to be interesting to find out actually how much dust has collected in this thing, and the change that you're going to be able to see, hopefully, that you're going to be able to see as I continue my playthrough of The Last of Us and Bioshock. So let's get into it first with our hard drive. Okay, we're gonna take off this panel here to get into the hard drive and clean that out. Then we're getting to a little bit more of the complicated areas, but not so much. This isn't as hard as it may appear. So I'm just gonna fixate my camera here to kind of get to my workstation. Okay. I'll be moving my system in and out, getting closer to the camera so that you guys can really see what it is I'm doing. Okay. This panel here, the glossy side, this is what we're gonna remove. Just push down, okay, and out. Okay, and it just comes off. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, it can kind of fight you, but since it's, like I said, the second time that I do this, see, it's not incredibly dirty, but I mean, it could definitely use a wipe down. But you really shouldn't fight it too much. Don't fight the things here. Really just, hand your way around it, feel it around until you get it to do what you want it to do, okay? So I'm just gonna go in, okay, from a distance. I don't wanna put it right up to it. Just definitely don't wanna hold it down because then I'm gonna just start seeing that moisture everywhere. Okay. Go in with the rag and wipe it down. Little vents, you definitely wanna blow air through these. Because I mean, here it's maybe not so necessary, but definitely in other parts of the system, when you see these little vents, definitely blow air through them, as that's what they're for, to get everything that's inside out. Okay. The largest screw is right here. Okay, it has the actual symbols of the PlayStation buttons around it. This is the only screw we're going to remove, and we need to do it with our Phillips. Okay. It's the only screw. Do not remove any others. We just want to get to the hard drive. Philip. These screws are not very tight, as I don't tighten them when I put them back in. I mean, I hand tighten, right? Just enough to get it done. Don't overdo it should the day come that you want to get back in here. So this is a bit stiff, but you just pull it out, and there's your hard drive. Sometimes this can also get very dirty. So definitely just want to give it a rub down. Make sure that you get off any dust that is collected here. If you're doing this for the first time, this area can be actually pretty dirty. Okay. Here's kind of the docking station for it. You want to get in there because this can be very dirty as well. Okay. As you can see, I'm kind of surprised mine isn't as dirty as what I thought it was. But it's definitely kicking up dust. Okay. And just wipe down. Okay. Alright, let's put it back in. This would be different for everyone, how much time you spend here. But since you're here and you already took the time to open everything, you really want to clean it as thorough as you can. Okay, that only screw that we took off, put it back where it was, and screw it back in. Right now we're just using our Phillips. Again, you don't want to strongman this, okay? Just it's tight enough for me. Back in, doesn't move. Your Sony logo to the front. Again, a lot of this stuff, guys, only goes in and goes out one way. So you hear that click, it's good to go. Okay, move a little bit. Make sure you're secure enough that you can flip this thing. And that was it for the hard drive. Okay. Now, let's turn this thing. Here's my BB-8. This is the top of my PlayStation. Okay, the logo, which goes in the back part. I'm gonna flip it like this to where it's upside down. Okay, to where my HDMI, here's my Ethernet, and here's my power cord. It's gonna be at the top. These are gonna be in the bottom. That's the way I want to be looking at this. As you can see, these are what I'm talking about. Okay, you have one, okay, and you have I'm sorry, they're here. 1, 2. As you can see, I already removed this one. I've done this before. And here's your third one. It's kind of tricky to see in the camera, but they're up here, okay? 1, 2, 3. We need to remove these little things here. They're like these little stickers, okay? Now these can be tricky the first time. I found this little scooper thing that I'm gonna use. I've seen people use straight razors. I've seen people use, they're able to get under it with a screwdriver, or even like a little knife or blade. But I'm gonna get under here and just scrape into it to get it off. And for me, luckily, it just came right off. Okay? And here it is. And as I said, once you remove these, you're avoiding warranty. Let me get the one on the far right. And there it is. Okay? Let me show you guys what it looks like now. There's your one security screw. There's the one in the middle. And right now we're just gonna take off these 3. Okay? Just these 3. Now you need your TR9 Torx. Okay? And you'll notice, if you have the right tool, they come out with these. Okay? These are very small, so be careful. Let's not be like Ralphie from the Christmas Story. Oh fudge. A lot of these are color coded too, because this is only the first time that we're gonna have to use the torque. These are black, the ones that go on the outside, okay, just like the cover. The ones on the inside are silver or nickel. Okay. Right, I got the 3 security screws out. Here, again, this is just about feeling it out, getting in there, and you want to lift up the entire panel, okay? And for me, I grabbed it on the edges here, and it just popped right up. And here we are. Looks intimidating. Trust me, it isn't. Let's get in here and clean this, okay? As you can tell, yeah, I've wiped it down, okay? But I want to get back in here and make sure I haven't had any dust collected in these past few weeks, which it is, okay? As you can see, I mean, all this here is what causes your system to heat up and causes that fan to just lose its mind, and it gives you an annoying playthrough that people don't want to listen to. Okay, again, from a distance, just okay. All right, let's put it off to the side. Don't lose track of this. You're gonna need it. All right, let's take a look at this. Here's that fan. See how disgusting that is? We're gonna try and get as much out of there as possible. And this is what mine looks like after I've cleaned it once already. I wonder what yours looks like if you've never done this. We need to remove the power supply, okay? That's this thing right here. It is this entire, we need to take this out, this entire little section, so we can get closer to the fan and even clean out your power supply. So, I want you guys to look very closely. Security bolt 1, security bolt 2, and security bolt number 3. These 3 we need to take off using our TR9 Torx. With our Phillips first though, let's take out this screw and this one. So that's 5 screws, okay? These 2 on the edge with this little tong sticking out, we're gonna take those first, okay? Keep in mind the way these are facing, because when we put it back in, they need to be facing exactly the way they are right now. So let's get our Phillips and take these 2 out. Again, with your Phillips, when I assembled this back together, didn't power through it, this is what you're gonna see. Okay? Just put that aside. You don't want to give yourself some space, you know, a table. I'm using my desk here, kitchen table, a counter, something that you can really lay out everything in. Okay, so I already removed both of these screws. Okay, with this little thing that's sticking out here, that's a little holder that holds that kind of gives some more support to the power supply. Okay, before you get into the security screws, I want you guys to see this wire right here. I've seen videos where they remove this, okay, which you can do, and then just put it back in when we're done with the power supply, but you don't have to, and I don't. What I'm going to do is remove the security measures. I'm going to lift up the power supply and kind of do this fold over without removing this cord. Keep in mind that if this gets pinched, or if you bend those little really sensitive needles, whether trying to take it out or put it back in, you know, this is kind of like that scene in the movie where if you just cut that wrong wire, game over. Okay, so I just don't want to mess with it. Doesn't need to be done. I suggest the remove of the bolts, of course. You lift this thing up whenever you've managed it and just do a little fold over. Okay, and then we put it back in the exact same way, and nothing gets damaged. So I'm making myself a little bit of room so I can do exactly that. Let's go back to our torque. Okay, security bolt 1. Of course, these are different colors than the black ones that we took out from the covering. Okay, so keep that in mind. We don't want to mix up the security bolts. 2, and here's number 3. Okie dokie. Again, just feel it out, okay? Feel it out. Start lifting it in areas. You're gonna start feeling some wiggle, and you're just gonna wanna go with the motion, okay? Sometimes you will get some, it will fight you. But as I said, these systems built to last, but still you don't want to power man this thing, okay? Sometimes what I will do is kind of stand up and get an angle on it so you can get yourself a little bit more leverage. Okay, and hold it in place and kind of drop it right here. Okay, now obviously I can't pick this up to show you guys because I do have that wire here, but I just simply lifted it up, fold it over, and of course you can see now a lot of the interior. This first time I did this was incredibly dirty. Okay, there was a lot of dust here. I want you guys to look at these 2 prongs here. Just keep in mind, this is what kind of will give you the resistance in trying to remove it. Okay, these 2 prongs, don't want to bend them. Okay, I did this second time doing this, so I have not bent these at all. And so to put it back in, these little buggers are gonna fight you. Okay, but again, you just need to feel it out, and when you find it, of course, you press it down. But these little 2 prongs right here, just keep these in mind. Okay, so let's go in with our rag. Any dust that you see, go in there. Take off any dust that you see. You can see mine, even though I have been using it this week, and even though with Call of Duty Season 5 coming out, I have been putting some serious playtime, you can just see the dust already. Alright, so you want to go in here. Oh yeah, there's dust. Okay, get into the power supply, which is right here, because you're gonna want to blow out. Again, it has those vents there, okay? So use them and blow out whatever dust you see. Mind the moisture. And of course, public enemy number one, our fan, okay? Hold it in place, you don't want it to turn. Get in here and start blowing it out. Here's the fun part. Grab your Q-tips, get in there, and let's get in between these blades. And I mean just, and you guys saw what it looked like a minute ago when I showed you all. I mean, this is what I'm collecting. And you can understand why these things are so darn loud. Let's be gentle with it. Don't be aggressive. Why do I feel like I sound like Bob Ross here? Oh well. All right. Look at that. I brought a few Q-tips, okay? You might want to bring several because, I mean, the point is you don't want to clean it with a dirty Q-tip. We need to take this stuff out. Okay, so, man, this fan, I can't believe how much it accumulates. Come on, it was just 13 hours of Call of Duty. No biggie. All right, so when you're done with that, just go in there with the air again. It does look a lot better. Ensure again that you do not have any moisture. If you see it, make sure you wipe it down from, and just get over here on the side. I see dust here. Okay, so definitely see how that moisture came out. So get rid of that. Okay, really, really dry that. I got a little bit too close there. All right, now let's go into reassemble our power supply. We're gonna bring it back over, mind those two little prongs there, and really we're just gonna feel it. Okay, that worked really well for me. I promise you, it can be tricky putting this back in, but just feel it out. And mind those two prongs in this area here. This is what's going to give you resistance when you're trying to push it back down. Don't push too hard. You bend those needles, you're asking for problems. Let's start with our security bolts, our security screws, okay? One here, here, and here, okay? We're going back to our silver security bolts. And you're gonna need your torque. And just like that. That's why I think this is the best thing to use. If you do it with a screwdriver, it may not be that easy. But I don't know, I did not try it. Just make sure they're going in straight. You don't want to bend these. Okay. Okay. So those are back in our security bolts. Remember these guys? Long ones. These things are going to be facing each other. Putting them back straight in. Okay? Oops. You're going to need your Phillips. Remember that. Don't mix up your screwdrivers. Sometimes they can fall in kind of funny. They're not going to connect. But, again, just play with it. And when you feel it, you'll know that it got the grooves. Okay, that one's nice and tight. Back in. Second guy going in. And line it up straight. My guy tried to turn a little bit. I'm going to hold him with my finger and tighten it up there. Okay. We got it back in. Look at that now. Still dusty. And there's just some stuff you're not going to be able to get. But that's a lot cleaner fan than what it was a minute ago. And I mean, since you're right here, might as well just... Yeah. So really just try to... That fan just needs to be as clean as possible. But, I mean, even when you go in there with Q-tips, there's just some areas that are just... It's so saturated with dust. All right. Remember this guy? He's going to go in exactly the way he came out. Okay? And usually what we do is from here down. Remember when I popped them up? Popped them like this. Okay? So just go ahead and bring them in like this. Bring them down. You hear that? You hear that? And your money. The little black security screws. Hope you didn't lose them. Get your Torx. And just put those bad boys back in. Not too tight. Just hand tie whenever you feel that resistance. That's good enough. As I said, this should be, I mean, if that warranty's gone and you want to kind of give your PS4 as much life as possible, this is a pretty good way to do it. And again, practice makes perfect. So give it a shot, get in there, be gentle, and you could add a few more years to your PS4 or however long it's going to take for the PS5 to come out. Your little stickers, you can put them back if you want to. As you can see, mine were already kind of wore down. I don't really see a need to replace these since I'll probably do this again in a month or so. And everything's in place. We put this back on. Just give the whole thing a little wipe down. Get in there. We cleaned it out really as best as we could. And since you got a can of spray, just get in there. Okay. So, that's all it takes. A little bit intimidating, kind of scary maybe the first time you do this, but it isn't that hard. It's pretty easy. And again, the benefits of it are, evident. I mean, you need to take this stuff out of your system because then you're just, it's really just a matter of time before these things burn out. Okay. Alrighty then. So that was my little tutorial on how to clean out your PS4. Hope it helped you guys out. Let me know if you have any questions or just let me know how it went in the comments. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys soon in Endgame, or when we actually start getting all of my SDCC inventory in. I'm definitely gonna do a video, show off what we got. Alright guys, see y'all till next time.